This model of the Class E42, or known since the early 1970s as Class 242, is in TT gauge and was built in the 1970s by the company called VEB Berliner TT-Bahn in the GDR, the eastern part of Germany. The green of the body is very close to the original locomotives. The model has 2 bogies, each with 2 axles, and all 4 axles are powered. The original Class E42 locomotives of the Deutsche Reichsbahn was an electric locomotive that emerged from the E11 series. It was primarily planned for use in freight transport, but also in passenger transport. A total of 292 locos of the E42 series were produced between 1963 and 1976. Then, from 1970 onwards, as the 242 series as mentioned. Planning began, however, already in 1962, and just a year later, the 2 prototypes rolled off the assembly line at the company VEB Lokomotivbau Elektrotechnische Werke in the small city of Hennigsdorf, close to Berlin. Since the E42 series emerged from the E11 series, there was no long test phase, and serious production began in the same year, in 1963. With almost identical dimensions, that is, with a length over the buffers of 16,260 millimeters, a service weight of 82.5 tons, and with 4 traction motors, they reached maximum speeds of 100 kilometers per hour. In particular, the E42 series was able to easily transport freight trains of up to 1,900 tons on the plain at 80 kilometers per hour. In the mountains, with gradients of, say, 5 per mil, the transportable mass was reduced to 1,000 tons. And of course, they achieved higher speeds in passenger train service. Visually, the Class E42 electric locomotives look extremely similar to those of the E11 series. The bogie frames are made of sheet metal and have a distinctive box shape. The first locomotives had 4 double ventilation grills on each side. From locomotive E42-023 onwards, there were 6 simple grills. The actual difference between the 2 series lay in the, say, internal values. The E11 series was designed for more speed. As an express locomotive, it could easily travel at up to 120 kilometers per hour. The E42 series was designed for higher tractive power with a maximum speed of just 100 kilometers per hour. The different colors that sometimes catch the eye are due to the times. The color concept of the Deutsche Reichsbahn in the 1960s called for green locomotive bodies with red chassis. From 1970 onwards, the concept was changed and the locomotives were given a dark red paint job with grey running gear. Of the 292 locomotives, 186 were produced already in the 1960s. Because a planned new construction of an electric locomotive failed, then another 106 were built in the 1970s under the new IT number, already a series 242. What is interesting is that although they were planned as freight locomotives, they were ultimately also used in small numbers in suburban traffic around the cities Leipzig and Dresden. After German reunification, the Class 242 of the Deutsche Reichsbahn was again redesignated now as Class 142. However, they were all phased out in the following years. The last one was officially shut down in the year 1999. But even after that, some were still in use on private railways in both Germany and Switzerland, and some still are. For example, 2 locomotives of this series are still in service with the Potsdam Railway Company. Others have been preserved as museum locomotives. For example, the prototype is in use at the railway construction and operating company called Pressnetztalbahn.